It's really hard to make it go up. It's sort of good to hang it on something. So I put the end down in the corner here. Just work my way up like that, right? Hey, it's Greg here at MaritimeGardening.com, and I'm not gardening today. I'm replacing the gasket on my wood stove. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as I can. I use a wood stove. It saves a lot of money. Not going to get into that. What happens over time, this is something I seem to have to do about once a year, is that the gasket, you know, there's a seal that goes around the door to keep it nice and tight. It's a modern wood stove, and it just gets all crumbly and all that crap coming out of it. It just gets, it's fiberglass and it breaks down and it just seems to wear out. So you have to replace it, and the first few times I did this, I found it very annoying and tedious and difficult. And I've gotten a little better at it over the years, and I thought, well, geez, other people must go through that process as well. So I thought I'd just go through that. So, I mean, basically one day you'll come out, you'll come here in the morning and you open your the door to your wood stove to get a fire going, and the gasket will fall out or start to fall out, and you'll try to stick it back in and it just won't stick. So you need to replace it. So you go to a store and you get a kit. First thing you want to do is, using a flathead screwdriver like this, right? Just scrape out all this stuff. These are just glued on. So if you want the new one to stick, you have to remove all that rubbish, and it really won't take that well. And to buy a new one, I would just take a piece of the old gasket to the hardware store so you can get the right size. Yeah, that's the general idea. You just, using a flathead screwdriver, scrape this all off and get it as clean as you can using this technique. Alright, so that's stage one. Now I'm just going to go over this with a wire brush. Alright, so you see how much more rubbish came out with that wire brush. That's important. You should probably wear a mask when you're doing this. I did not, and God knows what I breathed in. Probably a bunch of fiberglass dust or something awful like that. So that was stupid. Anyway, next thing I want to do is, you know, because you're going to be putting a glue on this. These just glue on, these gaskets. So glues really don't take to dusty surfaces, right? So you want to get all that dust off. So I just got a little thing of water here and a little rag, just a piece of a t-shirt. Get that nice and wet, and just go over the whole thing. And then, you know, depending on what kind of kit you've got and what kind of adhesive you're dealing with, some of them don't mind the surface being wet, and some of them do. So I mean, read the instructions. I mean, this is going to be dry. I'm not going to be replacing the seal here for about probably an hour from now. I imagine my wife will be home then. I'll do that part too. This is a start to finish video. I'm doing the whole thing. But you want to get all that dust out of there so that the seal will take and do a really, really good seal. I mean, it still won't last forever, right? Because the seal's made of fiberglass. I use my wood stove this time of year, winter. It gets cold outside. It's probably -10 today, -10 Celsius. Anyway, I use this to heat my house every day. I've got a, I don't know what our house is, over 2,000 square foot house, good sized house. And this heats our house, this one wood stove. It takes about 4 cords of wood a year to heat our house, and you can get those for maybe $300 each. So $1,200 a year to heat a house. And if you can be disciplined about it, you can save a lot of money. All right, so that's about as clean as I can get it for now. Now I just got to wait for this to dry up and wait for the some gaskets, the adhesive requires the surface to be wet. It really depends on what product you use. The one I use, it seems to work you know, when it's dry, but you have to have it nice and clean like this. That's a really important thing. There's a couple other important things. Anyway, stay tuned. I'll be back in an hour or so and we'll do the rest of it. Hey, we're back here and it's all nice and dry and I got my kit here. So these are one of these, this type, I mean, there's different kinds of kits and there's different kinds of adhesive. There's also silicone adhesive. I don't know what the base one for this one is, but it's different anyway. This is the one I use because it's cheap. So, if you read the instructions, it tells you to put a thin bead of the adhesive around the gasket and then just stick this in there and close the door. But if you try doing that, this keeps falling off and you just about lose your mind and you do a lot of cussing. So there's different tricks of doing that, but I found if you put this stuff on and you smear it in good, and then you wait a few minutes, like, you know, I can't remember now, it's been a while since I did it, but 5 or 10 minutes, it gets a little tacky. Once it's tacky, then when you attach this, it sticks a little better. And even then, you sort of put some masking tape to sort of hold it in place. Then shut the door, and then you don't crack up and lose your mind while you're doing that. So let's apply this first. Also, when you're applying, I mean, if you have a door that'll pop off easily, it's better to do this with the door laying flat. This door has the pins that go through, and there's these little clips that hold them on, and I find them really tedious to get at. So I just leave the door on when I do it, and you can do it either way. Anyway, you want to put a plastic bag or something underneath the door, otherwise this adhesive will stick to your nice ceramic tile and never come off. Okay, so let's pop this off. There we go. And don't lay too much bead down before it tends to run. So you probably want to wear some sort of latex glove when doing this sort of thing. Of course, I'm not doing that, but it's probably a good practice. Anyway, I like to work that in really good. I'm going to wash my hands as soon as I'm done here. Put that on like that. Okay, that's a general. Oh, it's like honey, or like pancake syrup. I would say it has a consistency. This particular adhesive has a consistency very similar to pancake syrup. So runs pretty quick. So you can only lay down a few inches or centimeters of it before it starts to make a real mess of itself. And I think that's probably good. Okay, so I'm going to kill the camera. I'm just going to wait a few minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, so I think this is tacky enough. I mean, it's been a year since I've done this, so I'm going from memory here, but I think I've got a reasonably good tackiness. I was probably about somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. I wasn't really counting. You can just tell by touching, it's got a bit of it's still wet, but it's got a bit of a tack to it. And I got a bunch of pre-measured pieces of tape here to sort of help. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that you should, to the best of your ability, pre-measure this. I didn't do that, but I'm just going to roll with it. It'll be fine. This is long. It's certainly long enough. It's probably too long. Now, I like to start from the bottom. It's really hard to make it go up. It's sort of good to hang it on something. So I put the end down in the corner here. Just work my way up like that, right? Just hang that over and tape it on like that. Right? Now you got that sort of squared away. And now this corner here, just sort of tape it on like that. Right? Go around the corner. Tape it on like that. And this tape only has to hold long enough for you to get the door shut, right? So you're gonna go in quickly, or you're just working your way across. I'd say every 6 inches or so, you're just securing it a little bit, because you do not want this falling down and you lose your damn mind. There we go. Put that on. See how I do either side of these corners? I mean, you're working against gravity here, right? This might be tacky enough. I don't know. I'm just not taking any chances. I don't want to muck with it. I don't want to mess with it. It's certainly long enough, I can tell. All right, so this go around here, like so. Pre-cut quite enough tape, but we're okay here. I wiped the glass down too. It doesn't look perfectly clean, but I wiped the glass down with just water, just so I knew that the masking tape would take to it, right? Just sort of massage that in. So there's our length. Actually, I stretched that a bit, so let that retract. These are very springy, so you want to get the most out of it. No point in stretching it if you don't have to. Okay, so I'm right about there, I'd say. Boom. All right. So she's on. She's stuck. We'll close the door. I'm worried that's going to come out of position, so just make super duper sure that stays where I put it. That's good for now. Okay, shut the door. Crank her shut. Like that sort of thing. That's it. That's all you got to do. Now it says to, the instructions here say to wait 12 hours and then light a fire. So maybe I'll do a video lighting the fire tomorrow. But that's basically how you get that on and shut without it falling down and you're having to get it back on and getting adhesive all over your hands and you know, anyone that's tried this, it's been frustrated by it. That's how you avoid the frustration. A little bit of tape, waiting for it to be tacky, getting it on there, shut the door, and starting in the bottom corner. That way you're sort of, instead of working against gravity, you're kind of hanging it, so you're using gravity to your advantage. All right? I hope that was helpful, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. Check them at podcastmaritimegardening.com. Maybe this has nothing to do with gardening, but if you know someone that's into gardening and this helped you out at all, please like, share, subscribe, right? Thanks for watching.